all we say to America is be true to what you said on paper.
Good morning. My name is Darren Green. I'm the president of the Nassau County Sheriff Guardians, and we're here this morning to address the needs of the violation of Nassau County Sheriff's Department and Nassau County on behalf of violating a federal consent order that's over 10 years old. Standing behind me, my fellow officers, members of the Guardians, as well as several organizations throughout the state, Mr. Charles Phillips from the Grand Council of Guardians, 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, Mr. Eric Josie, Mr. Corey Gears from Noble, Long Island, and Mr. Damon Jones from National Black Police Association, and several other organizations throughout the state. Now we're here to just demand for the county that at this point in time, we're no longer willing to let you violate the policies and let you violate the federal consent order that has been put in place. The affirmative action portion of that decree was supposed to have been enforced, and it has not been. We're here this morning, and we're wanting to let you know that at this day and age, right now, there is no way possible that we could stand here today and not have those things set forth and set in place. If you look around and you see all of us that are standing beyond, we know now that you, as a county, one of the most segregated counties in the country, should be taking a more proactive stance in making this and these situations better and fair for every employee of the department. We're not here just for the African American officers or the minority officers. We're here for the entire department. We're looking to make change throughout the county. Standing behind me to address some of the issues, as well as my attorney, Bonita Needs.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I would also like to acknowledge that Anthony Miranda is standing on my left, the chairman of the National Latino Officers Association, as well as Charles Phillips on the left, the chairman of the Grand Council of Guardians, and John Araujo on my left, a fellow attorney working for the cause. My name is Bonita E. Zellman, and I am the attorney for the Grand Council of Guardians.
Could you spell your name, please?
B-O-N-I-T-A, middle initial E, last name Z-E-L-M-A-N. I am the attorney for the Grand Council of Guardians and the attorney for the Nassau County Sheriff's Guardians. At this point, I would like to advise you that today there are less African Americans and other minorities in leadership positions within the Sheriff's Department here in Nassau County than where we were 10 years ago when the federal court ordered that affirmative action take place in the Sheriff's Department in Nassau County. 55 years after the Montgomery boycott of 1955, where Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white man on a bus, which touched off the civil rights movement. And 42 years after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, 46 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Law of 1964. And here today in Black History Month, over a year after the election of our first black president in this country, we find ourselves still fighting the same age-old battle for justice for people of color here in Nassau County. We find that within the Nassau Sheriff's Department and the County Attorney's Office here in Nassau, the same racist institutional obstructions of justice, the same old systemic racism that sustains the status quo, the same old white power structure here in Nassau County that deprives blacks and other minorities of equality and their human and civil rights, the same old prejudice and bigotry that sustains Nassau County's distinction as the most segregated county in the United States of America. Shame on you, Nassau County. Shame on the acting sheriff, Michael Spazzato, the deputy county attorney, Elizabeth Locan-Solo. Shame on those county attorneys and government officials who betrayed the trust placed in them in failing to enforce and implement the federal consent decree that the Nassau County Guardians won 12 years ago in February 1998. You have instead negated its benefits and denied the hope and opportunity it held out to African Americans, Latinos, and other minorities. Instead of standing here before you and celebrating Black History Month, we are litigating against Nassau County and the Sheriff's Department. We are back in litigation with the county that pledged in federal court 12 years ago to enforce the principles of equality and justice and affirmative action.
Good afternoon. My name is Josie Evaric, last name Josie, Josey, co-founder of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. We stand here today side by side with our brothers in law enforcement. We are active and retired law enforcement. As such, we understand that the commander in charge of the agency is ultimately responsible for the systemic pattern and practice of racial discrimination within his agency. Michael Spada, who is currently acting and appointed sheriff of this county, has in fact was a former cook in a jail, has no prior training or experience whatsoever to hold this position. Therefore, we are asking that he be immediately removed from his position. This federal class action lawsuit has been launched at the taxpayer's expense, at the Nassau County taxpayer's expense. Therefore, the taxpayers of this county should be outraged. Outraged at the fact that this continual pattern and practice of amongst appointed sworn law enforcement officers of this county continues to occur after 12 years of the consent decree. So therefore, we stand by our brothers. It's been long overdue that this agency has been recognized for the well job that they do, and we're here to support them, and I can tell you, our agency and the members here of other supporting organizations will not allow this to continue to occur and no longer will be tolerated. Corey Pegues.
Good morning, Corey Pegues, President, Long Island Chapter, Noble National Organization of Black Law Enforcement. C-O-R-E-Y, P as in Peter, E-G-U-E-S. Welcome this morning. Thanks for coming out. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Over a year ago, I challenged the former county executive to revamp and remove the acting sheriff. It's ironic that a cook could run such a major organization, doesn't have the qualifications. There were several minority applicants for the position of sheriff that had PhDs and master degrees. In February, which is a month that they gave us only 28 days, we understand, we love Black history all year, but it's ironic that I was watching a special on CNN last night with Martin Luther King Jr., his words that he spoke, and today, here 50 years later, we stand before you. The Sheriff's Department should be reflective of the community we serve. At a bare minimum, it should be reflective of the population. We have officers that stand behind me, court officers that stand behind me, who are well qualified for the high-ranking positions in that authority. Now, it seems to me that it doesn't matter if we got a Democratic or Republican county executive. It's the same old rules. That's right. We need to get rid of these rules, need to be bipartisan in our approach in the hiring practices in the county of Nassau. I stand here today in support of the Nassau County Guardians Association, for the Sheriff's Department, and Noble will be here side by side. If it has to come to a position where we have to protest every single day in front of the county executive office, we're prepared to go to war civilly, intelligently, until we get this done. Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.